What's the most hidden power-up in the original Super Mario Bros? Well, unlike the second game in the series, aka The Lost Levels, which does have some very well hidden power-ups, Super Mario Bros. Power-ups honestly aren't too hidden for the most part, and I mean that's a good thing. They're fun to collect and use to your advantage, but some of them are a lot tougher to find. For example, starting in just the second level of the game, you have some hidden surprises here and there. Some of these can even be tricky to grab and require some smart moves from the player. Then in 2-1, there's this power-up, which isn't so much hidden as it is tricky to reveal. In 3-1, if you go down this pipe, there's a really unique array of blocks, and tucked away here in this block is certainly one of the more hidden power-ups in the game. And well, just like that, we're already running low on hidden power-ups. There is this one in 7-1, which is the tiniest bit hard to find, and if it's a fire flower, it's certainly one of the hardest to actually collect, since you can't get it without clipping through the side of the block. So yeah, outside of the ones I just mentioned, most of the power-up locations are very straightforward. But there's several minutes left in the video, so you know there must be more to talk about. As it turns out, there is an entirely different category of power-ups hidden in this game, and the mechanics behind finding and collecting them are very cryptic. It's not explained to you anywhere in the game, in the manual, or even in strategy guides. But today, I'll explain it to you. Stick around, and I bet you'll learn something brand new about this classic game. Real quick, I need to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this video, Factor 75. Factor 75 is a meal delivery service with the goal of getting chef-created, never-frozen meals straight to your doorstep. The meals are also designed by dietitians to ensure nutritional quality. It's the most convenient way to eat healthy. It's really easy in our day and age to eat too much fast food or to resort to ordering it when you need something quick, but Factor meals are even more convenient and they have proper nutrition. For me personally, I think Factor is really good as a lunch option. I obviously work from home, streaming and making videos, and trying to have something good for lunch can be tough. If I need to take a break from the stream to go eat, it's nice to have something where it doesn't take too long and I don't have to leave the viewers hanging. And even if I'm not streaming, it's nice to avoid the stress of cooking and cleanup and be able to get back in the groove of working or whatever else I'm doing without getting exhausted. If you want to try Factor 75, use my link or go to go.factor75.com and use code POGCOSMIC130 to get $130 off across 6 boxes. Okay, let's learn about perhaps the most cryptic mechanic in Super Mario Bros. This mechanic is the secret behind Super Mario Bros. Most hidden power-ups. 1-up mushrooms. No, not this 1-up mushroom or that 1-up mushroom. See, those ones are perfectly visible. We need to talk about the invisible ones. Now you're probably starting to think, I see why those are the most hidden power-ups. They're invisible! But would you believe me if I told you that's not even close to the reason why? The reason why is that they don't exist sometimes. And the conditions to get them to show up are not something that would be easy to figure out on your own. Even this official strategy guide gets it wrong. But then again, this is the same strategy guide that called these 10 coin blocks, gives verifiably false information about farming points, and has this fun typo. I'm willing to forgive some of the stuff in here, since it could be things lost in translation from the Japanese version of the guide. Not this though. I will never forgive this. Anyway, let's go ahead and follow its instructions for getting the 1-up mushrooms. Okay, in 1-1, it says to try and grab the 1-up and get in the pipe. Sure, we can do that. No real special instructions so far on how to make the thing appear. And looks like it worked. Great. Let's play to where the next one of these invisible 1-ups is located in level 2-1. Okay, watch out for the Koopas, reveal a hidden coin block, jump on top of that, and jump to score a 1-up. But it's not there. Why? We know it's supposed to be here. Well, let's just move on to 3-1 for now and see if we can get one in that level. Oh, this time there are some special instructions. It says the 1-up won't be there if we've lost our power-up and become regular Mario before we get there. Oh, and would you look at that? We just took a hit. Whoops. I guess that means the 1-up isn't going to be there now. Except it is. What is going on? Okay, let me finally unravel this mystery for you. There's a pattern behind all of these 1-ups, right down to which level they're located in. You may have noticed that all of them we've talked about so far were in the first level of each world. That pattern continues for the rest of the game, with one invisible 1-up in the first stage of each world, and nowhere else. The third stage of each world is always a level that has a lot of coins in it. The pod worlds, apparently? Anyway, here's the big reveal. Whether or not the invisible 1-ups are present in the first stage of each world is dependent on how many coins you collect in the third stage of the previous world. That's right, I am not making this up. Here's the list of internal values the game uses to see if you collected enough coins and are worthy of spawning a 1-up mushroom. This is in hexadecimal or base 16, so here's what the actual numbers are. This means that if we collect 21 coins in 1-3 and then go check for the 1-up in 2-1, it'll be there this time. This mechanic is actually pretty similar to the bonus blocks in Super Mario World. In that game, these blocks will just give you a single coin unless you've already collected 30 coins in that stage, in which case they'll spawn a 1-up. That one was at least explained in the game manual, and they also added a message block explaining it in the Game Boy Advance version. So, how many coins can we miss and still get the invisible 1-up blocks to spawn? The answer is 2. No, not 2 in each -3 level. I mean 2 in the whole game. The first -3 level, 1-3, is the only stage with any leeway. You can miss 2 coins there, getting 21 out of the 23 available coins, and the 1-up in 2-1 will still spawn. On all the others, you have to make sure you don't miss a single one. And fun fact, for some reason there's a value here for World 8 as well, so have fun figuring out how to get 99 coins in 8-3, and also how to get to 9-1, and also how to get a 1-up to spawn in this underwater copy of 6-2. Alright, next up let's look at the code that shows the exact way the game checks to see if you got the required amount of coins. Anytime you beat a level, the game checks if you just finished the world. If you did, it checks how many coins you got in the previous -3 level, and if you got enough, it sets the hidden 1-up flag to tell the game to make the next hidden 1-up appear. As you approach the hidden 1-up block in the next stage, it checks for this flag and renders the object if it's set. Notice that the flag gets reset as soon as it renders the 1-up block. That means that each block will only be there one time, so if you die, you can't collect it again, and what's more, if you die after rendering it on screen and before you collect it, you'll never get it. This is definitely the crux of what the strategy guide wanted to tell us, but I guess they weren't even sure exactly how it worked. Okay, we have 3 questions left to answer. How does the 1-up work in 1-1? How do these 1-ups work after coming from a warp zone? And ultimately, which one is the most hidden power-up in Super Mario Bros? As far as 1-1 goes, once you press start on the title screen, it goes ahead and sets the hidden 1-up flag, so it's always there for both players at the start of the game. This also goes for if you continue on a later world after a game over, or if you push button B to select a world after you've beaten the game. Next, let's look at warp zones. This is the routine that happens when you take a warp. Along the way, it sets the hidden 1-up flag, so the 1-up will always be there right after warping to a world. Nice! With those topics out of the way, we can finally answer what the most hidden power-up in the game is. The 1-up in 1-1 is iconic, I think most people know about it, and it always spawns, so it's definitely not this one. The one in 2-1 is a contender, since it's in a tricky location, but this 1-up has the most lenient coin requirements, and I don't think it's the most hidden. The World 3 1-up is dependent on how many coins you get in 2-3, and all of those ones are easy to access, so I don't think that one is it. The 1-up in 4-1 I feel like a lot of people know about as well, probably because it's common to warp to World 4 for the fastest route through the game, and we see this 1-up a lot in speedruns too. World 5's 1-up I don't think is the most hidden because it's very easy to stumble upon. And I mean literally stumble. Normally you can run across 1-block gaps, but when this 1-up is here, you'll fall right through. The reason why is... come ask in my chat while I'm streaming for an explanation. The 1-up in World 6 is a solid contender for most hidden, because I feel like people hardly ever play World 6 and 7. I think a lot of people either warp to 8 or give up before playing these. Which, by the way, is the reason I don't think 8 is the most hidden either. This 1-up in 6-1 is in a decently suspicious spot, so I don't think it's too hard to find if you did manage to spawn it. And that leaves one power-up left. That's right. I personally believe that this 1-up in 7-1 is the most hidden power-up in Super Mario Bros. I don't think it's that common to warp here, or even play World 7 in general. If you don't warp, 6-3 is probably the hardest of all the stages to make sure you get all the coins in. And even if you do play 7-1 and the 1-up is present, it's really not in the easiest spot to find. It's just floating here above this pipe, and there's not any concrete reason to jump right here. Did any of you find it? I'm curious, what are your guys' experiences with these 1-ups? Did any of you figure out exactly how it worked all on your own? Let me know. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye!